If you are a superwoman, always trying to do it all, there's one little word you probably have a hard time saying, and that is no, which is a complete sentence. But with jobs, houses, and life savings hanging in the balance, keeping balance in our lives has never been more important, and learning to say no is just one way you can do it. So life coach Cheryl Richardson has drawn up a blueprint for taking back your life. We asked her to put her principles into practice with 19 women with different stories, but one common problem.
I take on too much.
I flip out at home.
If mama ain't happy, then nobody's happy.
Yeah.
The high price of being superwoman.
How many of you feel like sometimes like you're a volcano just waiting to blow?
I do.
I feel like no matter what I do, nobody notices.
How many people feel that? Yeah.
Superwomen who feel invisible, cracking under the weight of their own lives.
I cannot say no to anyone.
Tell me who you can't say no to.
I can't say no when a family member calls me. Doesn't matter that I have a million things myself. I'll put my things aside and I will do what they need help with first. Me is not my first priority.
Yeah. What are you afraid will happen if you say no?
I don't want to disappoint anyone.
But you see, this is all wrapped up in these huge expectations you have for yourself.
So if great expectations got us here, how do we change course? Lesson 1, it starts with you.
My husband, my work, my mom, my kids, I mean, they're all priorities. So where do I say no?
You start by putting you first, because you weren't even in that mix.
Right.
Lesson 2, popularity is overrated.
I want them to be happy.
No, you don't. You want them to not be you.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
The little girl in you was told, you better do everything I say, you better be good, and you better make me happy, or else I'm going to be really angry with you. The problem, Leah, is that 10-year-old's running your life.
Yeah.
I am so giving you the piss off one person a day homework.
I'm sweating.
I know.
Which brings us to lesson 3. Practice makes perfect.
Is there someone in your life that you could practice disappointing? Say, you know what, not being able to disappoint people is costing me big time. And I've got to get good at it, and I have to practice, and I've got to start somewhere, and guess what? I've chosen you. We're talking about the little no's. No, honey, I can't play with you right now, to your son or your daughter.
I'm just not comfortable with it.
And that's okay, because lesson 4, guilt is good.
When the guilt comes up, I want you to imagine putting your arm around it like an old friend and going, hey, buddy, I'm so glad you're here, because you are an indication that I've done something right for myself. How many of you know that if your mothers had taken better care of themselves, your childhood would have been that much better? Right. Your kids need you to learn this.
Advice that struck a nerve.
I'm trying so hard to carve out my own space in the midst of being a stay-home mom. It's like my whole life's been devoted to them, and like I don't even know who I am in the mix.
You need to carve out some space in your life to get to know who you are. And you can actually practice by deciding, I'm going to take 10 minutes in my bedroom alone, and you say to the children, you know what, mommy needs to learn to take better care of herself. I want you to speak to your husband and tell him, this is critical. I need a PhD in setting limits.
Which brings us back to the question of anger, the collateral damage of being superwoman. And the final lesson, failure is your friend.
If someone asks me for one more thing, it's on top of 500 things already, something even pretty menial. You just erupt.
Why is there 498 things on your plate?
Afraid not to be perfect.
Because then what will happen?
I don't know, maybe the world would end.
I'd probably have you practice failing at one thing every day for 30 days.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that'd be scary.
Do the homework. Your life is at stake. It is that serious. It's that serious. Think about one piece of wisdom that you're going to take away with you.
That learning to do this is the biggest gift I can give my son.
When I say no, I'm saying yes to me.
And joining us now, life coach and author of Extreme Self-Care, our good friend Cheryl Richardson. Always good to have you here, Cheryl.
Great to see you again.
Now, there are some people that are going to see this and saying, wait a minute, you're promoting being selfish.
Yes.
That this is unrealistic and this is not the right approach to have.
I got a few emails about that the last time you and I talked. And You know what, Robin? The greatest joy I get in my life is giving to people. I know that's true for you too. It's true. Those women that we saw on tape spend all of their lives giving to everybody else. That's the fallout that we see here. And so what I'm saying is you need to give to yourself first. It's costing people too much. Right now, these are very, very difficult times. And what women have a tendency to do is the opposite of what they need to do. They do more in an effort to create sanity, when in fact I'm saying you got to pull back and do less. And if it feels selfish at first, that's normal. It's okay. Ultimately, you want to be able to give to people in a good way, but you got to pull back first. So I'm not saying don't care about people.
Right.
I'm saying the opposite. Care about yourself first so that you can care more about people.
It's not about being self-centered and all that. It's just about good.
Absolutely
good.
not.
I'm glad we straightened that out.
Yes.
These women that sat down, how long ago was this that you sat down?
A week ago Friday.
And you already are getting emails from some of them?
I got an email from Crystal, the young woman this morning, who has made some very significant changes in her life, dropped a course that she and her husband were taking that was completely stressing her out. She's doing what we all need to do, take at least one thing off our plate, pull back and say, okay, what can I do to just free up some time and energy here? And then we need to get support. We need to make sure that we ask somebody to hold us accountable. What you didn't see was Leah, the one whose 10-year-old is running her life, is a member of a life makeover group. And this is a group of women who have been meeting for 6 years. And they're going to support her in ticking off one person a day for 30 days. And that's what we all need. We need that kind of support right now.
And there are these support groups that are out there that don't cost a thing.
We have, I started life makeover groups 10 years ago. There are 4,000 of them around the world, and they don't cost anything. So we'll put resources up on the website so that people can find out how to start one or how to join one.
All right. Thank you so much,
You're so
Cheryl. We
welcome.
really appreciate that. And we do have those resources on our website.